alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We're here right now with Team Servants of Ahlulbayt, three members of that team. And inshallah, we're looking to just do a quick interview to find out what are their motivations and why they feel that they should be elected, inshallah. So I want to start off with asking, well, first of all, let me introduce the three candidates. The first candidate in the middle is Ahlulbayt. He is the current president of the executive committee, and he is looking to be elected as the future president of the executive committee as well. On the left-hand side, we have Brother Sayyid Ali Mazhar. He's also my father, and he is the current vice president of the executive committee, and he's looking to be running for the secretary position of the executive committee in the elections. And then the third person that we have here on the right is Brother Ejaz Heather, and he is actually a former member, a former president of the executive committee, and he has chosen to return back and run for the vice president position, inshallah. Now, I'd like to start off the questioning with Brother Ahlulbayt, and I want to ask your team, the Servants of Ahlulbayt, if you can introduce yourselves and let us know why you think you guys are the best candidates for these elections, inshallah.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum mu'minin and mu'minat. As we are running this Ahlulbayt Islamic Center for the last 25 years, and the team worked with me, has a lot of experience, and we have done a lot of community services. Very good examples. I don't go too far away. Just last couple of programs we did. We arranged the vaccination clinics in our center twice in the summertime, and then we held a barbecue for the community. And alhamdulillah, we did that Muharram programs under the coronavirus conditions with a lot of efforts, a lot of cautions, and programs were fantastic. We were holding 2 majalis a day, English majalis and Urdu majalis same day, and that's why my team is very hardworking and very committed to the service of the community, and I want the same people to work with me, and they should be elected so we can keep on doing the quality services for our community, inshallah.
Inshallah. So, Uncle, like before we move on to the other guests as well, what I will do is let me first focus in on what's actually happening beside me on either side, which is the drone footage from the new community center. Like this is a hot topic for the elections, obviously. Everyone's talking about the new building project. What I want to ask you is, it's going on for some time. Could you explain your contribution and let us know about the roadmap?
Yes, I've been part of the project technical committee who built the current Ahlulbayt Islamic Center. And after completing that in 1995, moving into that, the committee at the time decided that we should be finding something bigger and some better location. So they gave me the responsibility to look for a plot for the future Islamic Center. So I went out, I found a plot which is located at Markham Road, and it was listed for $1.4 million. The area was 5.11 acre at that time. And I came back and showed to my committee, and they agreed to that location. So I then went back and I make a bargain with the seller to purchase their property for $1.75 million. And that was the best price I could get. And alhamdulillah, that was very good price at the time. And we purchased that. And then we had no money at that time. We raised a down payment. We took loans from the people as we did before. We asked people to take the line of credits on their homes and mortgages on their homes to give us the money so we can put a down payment. So we came up with the $600,000 as down payment, and we took a $700,000 mortgage from the bank, which we paid afterwards in few years. Alhamdulillah, we paid the land off, and then we started the rezoning process. rezoning process is a very long process, and we went through that, and we got our rezoning in 2000, 2012. And after that, our technical project committee decided to start the working towards the construction, and they went for the site plan approval. So we hired architects, and we start fundraising with the new committee, and which was very effective. And then the new committee was fundraising committee was able to raise for $3 million, and then we start the site plan approval process, which took about 5 years. Sorry, 5 years, and we got that site plan approval. And since 1999 or something, sorry, 2019, we had that site plan approval, and we obtained the building permits. But then the COVID-19 virus came, and everything was shut down, so we could not start the construction. And now we are able to start the construction, inshallah, which had already started. And inshallah, we will be completing the project with the help of the Mu'mineen, with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Masumin. I request all of you to please come, get united behind this project and help us to build this project. And this project is going to be lost for generations to come. It's not one small project, it's a very large project. We'll be building 55,000 square feet building on that, and close to 200 parking spots. And inshallah, we will be able to do that. And we have done that before. We got this, all the steps till now, and we are ready for that. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I did want to ask another question. And that question is in regards to, you mentioned that you raised over $3 million for before this construction was obviously started. Like right now, we're starting construction. And you mentioned that you raised $3 million. How were you able to gain the trust of the community and actually raise those $3 million?
Actually, since the beginning of the Council of Islamic Guidance, our accounting practices were very carefully observed and looked at, and we looked at the funds and the accounts, and we had a very good reputation in the community. And before this one, we had built one center already, which is the current Ahlulbayt Islamic Center, and that was the same way. We had took loan from the people and people's home, and loan from the people's home, and we returned their money. And we have very good reputation in the community, and that's why the people trusted us, and they know that we can handle that situation, we can handle that project, so they donated the money towards this. And at the same time, it didn't only donated the money, $3 million. It was more than that, because we paid $1.2 million already for the land. And on top of that, we had $700,000 pledges to start when we start the construction. People are going to pay that. That's why we had to be successful, because we were honest. We were doing very hard work, and our finance statements were all clear and everything. Every year we have two audits done. One is internal audit, and the second one is external audit, which is done by the chartered accountant every year. And we file tax returns on behalf of the Council of Islamic Guidance every year.
Inshallah. And then one question here is, now, mashallah, that you have started this new building construction, how does your team plan to handle this multi-million-dollar project?
We have a very good and very qualified people in our project technical committee. They are professionals in the construction industry. There's some engineers and some managers. Actually, they are members of our community, and they're helping us to complete this project. And they are not costing any money. They are good advisors, and some of them are building managers, some of them are costing managers, and some of them are project managers. And that's why we think that we have a good project technical committee, and they'll be helping us to complete this project, inshallah.
Inshallah, inshallah. One question that I did want to ask you about that's a little bit off topic from the building project, just to move the focus. Let's talk about the Muslim burial plan. I understand like this is a plan that is, I think, started at Al Mahdi a while ago, and I just want to know what were your contributions to that plan.
Muslim burial plan was actually started by one of our ex-president, uh, Hamid Razvi. He started that, and we ran that for about 3 4 years, and then we moved into this Al Mahdi Center in Pickering, and we have one garage there outside. And then I thought of that to utilize that garage area and to convert that garage area into commercial kitchen and a Mayyat Ghusl Khana. So I designed that. So I hired the architect, and we went to the city, and we took the permission from the city to build the Mayyat Ghusl Khana and the kitchen. And since then, we were doing everything ourselves for the community, diseased people, Mariam Mayyats, and we have established a very easy system now. Yes, where we can do the funerals for the community members. And our Muslim burial plan is it's a kind of an insurance. The families pay $150 per year as a premium, and we cover the whole cost of their burial. And the services we provide, Khudana Khasta, if somebody passed away in some family, they just call us once, and from that point, we take over. Doesn't matter what time of the day or night is, we take over and we do everything for the deceased, and we tell that person is buried in the graveyard. Family doesn't have to do anything else. They just have to make a one phone call, and the people who got the services from us, they will acknowledge that what I'm saying, and that's how we get this done. And alhamdulillah, we are very successful in that, and we are sort of kind of proud to do this service for the community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Assalamualaikum. Like I know, like even with the Muslim burial plan, it's from the hospital all the way till the grave. Every single paperwork, everything that needs to be signed, everything that needs to be done. I know that all of you guys are there, alhamdulillah, every single time, and we thank you for your services for that. I think now let's move on to Said Ali Mazhar, which is also my father, so I feel weird calling him that. But I want to ask you in regards to specifically the Mahdi youth, what was your role in regards to structuring the Mahdi youth? I understand that you were someone who was involved in more of a direct role with the Mahdi youth, specifically from the EC, and just want to know what you did. What were your strategies there?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Well, I have been in the liaison for the Al Mahdi youth for a very long time, for you can say a couple of decades now. And I have dealt with the youth issues. And I worked with the youth committee and had identified that the youth committee would do incredible work. But every time a new team was introduced, we noticed a reinvention of wheel was occurring. Due to this, our youth were not able to fully reach their potential. So I wanted to unlock that potential with a plan. We moved forward, and together with our youth alim and the support of the executive committee, we appointed a new leadership team. Their first responsibility was to maintain youth programs to ensure the youth were engaged. Rebrand the youth committee so that we can freshen up the image, develop the constitution with a clearly defined roles. I mean, this was extremely important. The youth themselves developed the constitution for their committee. They designed the protocols, and the most importantly, they had a vision with the intention to elect the members of the youth committee themselves. So now, when we presented this to our existing election commissioner, they accepted the complete constitution as is without making any amendments at all. And we had elections under the same structure last time. And the president and the youth committee is actually functioning under the same constitution. That is a huge achievement, alhamdulillah, for the youth. And the team has worked since then. We are actually training these youth from the very early stages. We identify a few individuals who have the leadership capabilities. We train them, we groom them. We want them to be our future youth leaders, and when I participate in that, and it takes around 4 to 5 years, sometimes a bit longer, for us to groom a couple of individuals for them to be our future leaders. So those are the things we do, and we also formed this steering committee. The role for this steering committee was to ensure the vision and the protocols are adhered to, and they also wanted to make sure that they would provide the empirical data and the reports, letting the youth committee know what they need to focus on. And this was a very valuable information which we were getting from this committee. And the third and the most important role was that reinvention of the wheel should not occur, to make sure that the new committees that are coming in should follow up on the footmarks of the outgoing committee, so that there should be a continuation and a progress. It should not be that somebody is actually building something for a couple of years and then everything goes back to zero, and then the new committee comes and starts right from the ground. That's not happening because of this new leadership committee. And I think that that was a huge contribution towards our youth structure right now.
Alhamdulillah, and we have seen that actually create that positive change over the last 2 years. The youth committee has actually conducted 75 programs. Their YouTube channel has gone from 100 subscribers to 1,600 subscribers. Their Instagram has gone from 300 followers to almost 1,000 followers now. So even if we look at the different metrics to actually just see how much we're engaging the youth, there is a big difference in that, because process-wise, we have become a lot more strategic and more efficient. Alhamdulillah. I wanted to ask, actually, after this, Eastern Madrasa was a madrasa that was serving us on Lawrence Avenue, where most of our community was going for Sunday school. One of the things that, when unfortunately Eastern Madrasa did shut down and move to the west, was that there was a gap in the east, and and there was a void that needed to be filled. And I understand that you established Darul Quran. How and what did you do, and where did you get the experience from to actually start the school?
Well, there was a need. We wanted to have a Sunday school over here. So that was the most important thing. And I was involved in the Eastern Madrasa for a very long time. And I was not just teaching there, but I designed and developed the database. And the database was basically the engine to run the Eastern Madrasa, basically the entire school. That database was responsible for basically like moving the kids from one grade to another at the end of the year, to manage their results, it was almost doing everything whatever was needed for the school. And since I had designed that, I developed that, and it was being successfully used by almost, like right now it is being used by, I think, more than 7 or 8 schools in North America. They have all taken it from us. And I had that, and we made that as our basic when we started the Eastern Madrasa or the Darul Quran at Al-Mahdi. And we found that it was extremely simple for us to run the whole thing based on that database. And it was running, alhamdulillah, very well. We started with around 24 students in the first year. And because of the space limitations, the maximum we could accommodate were 114 to 120 students. And we had reached that within 3 years. And even now we are having, alhamdulillah, so many students. And later on, when I had thought that my plate is more than full and overflowing, and there was a need for a transition in the Darul Quran management, I actually picked up a parent, and whom I saw that he had the capabilities. I trained him for 2 years to make sure that he understands every aspect of running the Eastern, running the Darul Quran, and after that I made a transition, and now Khambar Raza is running the Darul Quran, Alhamdulillah, very efficiently, and we are very proud that he's doing a great job.
Perfect. And then the last question or the last topic that I want to address is I understand that you're also the main person who is responsible for the IT and streaming. And Al Mahdi has a reputation for having a very high quality stream. Alhamdulillah, during COVID, we noticed that the stream quality actually improved when people were struggling to keep up. So, what are some of the strategies and what was your actual role within all of this?
I am my background is IT, so that really helped me a lot. Even though audio visual was not my major, like my focus, I was in IT, but it helped me a lot. And when we started doing the recordings, we in late 90s were the first center or a masjid or an imam barga to have a live stream majlis. We were actually the pioneers in live streaming the majlis. Alhamdulillah, Al-Mahdi has then this distinction, and since then we never look back. The technology was evolving and enhancing, and we were actually utilizing the new improvements in the technology. And now we wanted to basically unlock the potential of the multi-platform streaming. So we switched over to YouTube lately so that we can allow our community members to stream not only on their computers, but on their phones, on the TV, and on the other devices. So right now when we are streaming, people can just log in from anywhere they like and they can listen to it. So we are always trying to be basically keep in pace with this cutting edge technology, and that is our aim. And inshallah, in the future, when our new center is going to demand new challenges, alhamdulillah, with all this experience, we feel very comfortable that we will be able to meet with those challenges.
Okay, thank you for your time. Okay, so let's move on to Brother Ejaz Heather. So there's a couple questions that I'd like to ask you as well. You are a returning member to the executive committee, and I just want to ask you, what was your contribution to the Al Mahdi Center when you were previously the president of the executive committee?
So thank you very much for asking. Actually, I have been president of CIG for at least 4 terms. But previously, when I was the president, it was from 2015 to 2019. And there were a lot of things that we did at the time. But prior to that, I was actually involved on one of the key projects that Hassan Bhai has mentioned, which was the purchase of the land of our new buildings. So that we actually got it at a very amazingly low price. It was about 1.175 million, and which is actually almost worth 8 times of the original purchase price, pretty much. So we got a good deal even at the time, and now it is worth 8 times more than what it was, when we purchased. The other thing is that I was also involved heavily in my last president term. I was working very closely with the architects to complete the design of the new building, and working very closely with PTC and the architects. We also formed a committee, which was a strategy and planning committee, to establish a solid foundation and structure of the organization to be ready for our future center. I work very closely with that subcommittee and our respected resident alims, executive committee, board of governor members, and various subcommittees to define and draft the future structure of the organization. So that work was done at the time. We were not anticipating this much delays, but Alhamdulillah, now we're at a point where we have started the construction, and we need to get back to it. And another major accomplishment that we did, as Sanma has already mentioned, you have already mentioned, which is basically raising $3 million cash to actually do the construction. These $3 million are actually on top of the funds that we have already paid off to pay off the loan for the land. So overall, if you look at it, we're looking at close to like $4.5–5 million that we raised over that period of time. And Alhamdulillah, we are in a good shape. The construction has already been started. Things are moving fast now, and we have enough cash in the bank. We're looking to finance, for the phase one construction. So inshallah, things are moving fast. Some of the other things that I have done is that, okay, I actually was involved in making some changes to the constitution. We restructured the executive committee in the past. It used to be 7 members committee. We increased it to 10 members, and then finally now we have 12 members. So that is something that we did as part of the strategy and planning. And we're getting ready for more changes in future to be ready for the new center. I have driven various fundraising initiatives, campaigns with the help of our community members. That includes membership drives, Niazi sponsorships, calendar ads. Another unique thing that we came up with was, having a spot for the marhumin of the community members in our calendar. And that actually significantly increased the community participation, not only just the funds, but also the participation. So that was one of the unique things that we brought into the picture that has not been seen anywhere else. I have been, responsible for designing and printing of the CIG calendars for over 20 years now. So I do it whether I'm part of the committee or I'm not part of the committee. I've been doing it for the past 20 years. So those were some of the things that, there are a lot of other stuff that we have done in that time.
Wow. So I think in terms of the answer, it sort of went over, I think, all my talking points. But one of the questions I can ask you now is, in terms of now coming back into the committee, what are some of the goals that you may have, and when you do get elected, what would you be doing, inshallah?
Well, again, as there's no shortage of work, one of the key focus will be the new building project. So therefore, I will be helping executive committee and PDC as required. We want to make sure that the project financing is in place to complete the phase one of the project, while working in parallel with PDC on the actual construction of the building. Strategy and planning is another area. That's my focus as well, and that's where I'm educated too. I'm, considering my MBA degree from Ivy School of Business. So I will be going back and working with my strategy and planning committee to see if what are the changes we need to make in the short term versus long term to have to basically put together an infrastructure and setup to be successful in future. There are some initiatives that have been going on when I was president, and they're still going on. For example, the ERP project to automate various processes within the CIG operations. Work on the review and enhance CIG constitution as needed, because there'll be changes in the structure of the committee and in structure of the CIG body. So I expect some changes to the constitutions. And there'll be various other things. So there's no shortage of things to do.
Sure. One question I did have I did want to ask you as well was, what are some future initiatives that you are looking to go forward with, as well as apart from the projects, maybe there's talks of a school, and different things like that. So what are some of the things that you would want to bring forward?
So regarding the school, I have heard about it as well. I mean, I don't know if you guys know, I have been a member of board of trustees for As-Sadiq Islamic School for several years in the past. And establishment of a school and running it successfully requires a lot of resources and infrastructure setup. We already have some organizations that are running Islamic schools very successfully in GTA, such as Wali al-Asr, As-Sadiq, Al-Hadi. These are some of the schools that have been successfully running. So to me, a more practical approach would be to utilize these resources rather than reinventing the wheels to have a school in the east end of the GTA. And I would rather partner with them and support them to establish a school in the east end.
So I think I've come to the end of my questioning. If there's any more comments that any of you three want to give, like go for it. And I think after like we'll start with Esanical if you want to say anything.
Yes, just would like to say here that the people who work with me in my team, they are very dedicated people. They are very hardworking people. We have done a lot of work for the community, a lot of service for the community, and there's all the evidence out there. And we'll just request to the community to please come forward and support us and vote us so we can keep on serving you the way we did in the past, inshallah, and get united behind our new project and support that project. It's for the generations to come, and we will inshallah complete that. Thank you very much.
Inshallah. If Brother Mazhar, if you want to say anything as well.
Well, I would like to continue on what Ihsan Bhai just said, that it's a teamwork. And we have, alhamdulillah, a very good, well-oiled machine which works in tandem. Everybody supports each other. And we always work as a team. And the second important thing is now that the community is at a very important juncture, we have started the construction of a huge new project. It's a multi-million-dollar project. We do not want any experimentations when this project is going on right now. So it becomes extremely important that the people who have the experience in taking the community to a point where we have reached right now have multi-million dollars in bank and have the capability of managing these projects. And we have proved it to continue with this. So I would like to basically ask all our members to make sure that they do not put this huge project at risk and elect us so that we can come and continue the work we have already started. That's what I would like to say at this point.
And then lastly, I'd like to give the floor to Brother Ejaz Heather, if you have anything to add.
Yeah, definitely. I have one very important point that I would like to bring up, which is basically, first of all, I respect Brother Ehsan, but very much. He has been a founding member of the CIG, and his contribution towards CIG is tremendous. I mean, only Allah and Imam Zamana can give him the reward. This committee, the members of our team are not new to me, even though I was not part of the team, but I have been working with them in the past. And the PTC chair, Brother Siptan Akbar, he's a fantastic person. We have a very tight bond between executive committee and the PTC. And we have been working together for the past decade on this project together. So we understand the needs and the requirements of this project. We understand, we have a very good coordination amongst us. And, we have a very tight bond. So we think that together with PDC and this executive committee, we can build the new center very fast, very quickly, and very smoothly.
Inshallah. So I'd like to end this session then, and thank you so much for your time. Masalam.